G'day world, Chris Hogan and Andrew Grope coming to you live from the Me Media studio here at Burleigh Heads on the Gold Coast for episode 78 of Get Fact Up. And today we're talking about e-commerce marketing tips. Woo!
Shall I start?
Yeah. So, interestingly enough, we've been having multiple conversations with some of our e-commerce clients and new clients. And the discussion has basically gone much of the same way every time. One of the most important factors when you're e-commerce, that is selling online via a shopping cart, is to make sure that you are also doing content marketing. And content marketing, for many of you, still might need some explanation. The most important thing when you have a shopping cart is to always have a blog.
Mm-hmm. So the big thing there is, for me, Google doesn't necessarily rank product pages that well. That's to say a page that's displaying your product details. It doesn't rate them all that well because it's a very, very narrow niche. It's not going to show up for a whole bunch of different things. And on top of that, it's competing with a lot of different stuff out there because everyone's got similar products out, unless you have a unique product. And also you're competing with Google Shopping ads. And Google Shopping ads, you can almost buy directly from the ads. So people are going to tend to go for the easier option. If you have a blog, you can expose yourself to a much broader audience and start to really grow your online real estate in a way that's much, much more scalable and big and general than what you would if you were just relying on product pages.
Absolutely. And so some of those pieces of content that e-commerce merchants could be actually creating is things like we say it all the time, shoulder niches.
Mm-hmm.
So for some ideas around what we mean by that, you might sell candles. And so therefore, if you're going to sell candles, you need to talk about the best way to style your home with candles. Mm-hmm. Or how do candles, I don't know, what's the best smelling candle to use in a bathroom or a kitchen or something along those lines. It may not be specifically product oriented either.
Yeah, so it has to be able to appeal to an audience that's bigger than the person that's specifically looking at that product. So if you've got product X, say men's hat, you're not going to be writing an article about that men's hat. You're going to be writing an article about 2018 men's summer fashion trends or winter, because we're coming into winter. Something along those lines that appeals to people that are just generally searching and shopping and that sort of stuff. Because that specific product is not going to get all that much traffic, so there's not much opportunity for Google to see that the article's worth anything. You've got to write something that'll appeal to a lot of traffic, so you get a lot of traffic coming in. Google starts to see engagement rate going up, that sort of thing, and then that's linking out to your products from inside that article. So it's got to be a bit more mass appeal, I guess, is the other way of thinking about shoulder niches. And you're also writing for the layman.
Mm-hmm. And so for those of the e-commerce merchants that are selling branded products, so you've one of many retailers or online retailers selling a brand, then essentially, if you start putting money into Google Shopping, that was a very interesting conversation we just had before about, well, if you put it on Google Shopping, it's almost a race to the bottom to see who can discount the most.
Yeah, well, that's right, because there's so little options in Google Shopping that you can configure. You've basically got your title, the image, rating, and the price.
Shipping.
So, yeah, and shipping. So in the end, it's just a bidding war for the lowest price. The lowest price is always going to win, and shipping as well is always going to win. You've got reviews and stuff there as well, but people don't really care as long as you got more than a 4-star review and they can get it cheaper.
Yep.
So engaging in Google Shopping as an e-commerce provider solution. What am I trying to say here? An e-commerce retailer. You have to realize that if you've got a lot of competition, all you're doing is just perpetuating this bidding war to the lowest price. Mm. Instead, maybe have a look at some of the other Google networks, Google Search Network for just standard text AdWords ads, display as well for remarketing. Maybe even have a look at Facebook and things like that as well.
So the content that you're producing will most definitely be about reviews. What are the associated products that work well with this product? Mm-hmm. If you're working in fashion, then what's the wardrobe look like in terms of coupling this with this and solving people's problems, essentially.
Yeah.
Solve my problem. How do I know this is the right product for me? And how else does it work within my lifestyle? So and every time we spoke about writing content, that we didn't just mean writing, go and create a blog. You can do that in video, you can do that in an infographic, as well. So you can do it in interview style. There's plenty of people doing that type of review on products. And you could do it Facebook Live. You could broadcast it via multiple channels. So there's a segue for channels. So you've created your blog for your e-commerce store. Great. We've just done a whole Get Fact Up about that. But let's talk about channels. So it's important to be multi-channel focused as well. What's the best way for you to get people to come to your store via multiple channels?
Yeah. So so you do need multiple channels and that sort of thing, and that's like AdWords, Facebook ads, your content marketing, so organic traffic coming in, and also building up a referrer base, so other people's websites that link to you via a piece of content or maybe a review swap or something like that.
Or on that affiliate marketing.
Affiliate marketing too. But you could be doing all this, and if you're not tracking and attributing referrer activity in, so all the traffic that's coming in through Google Analytics, if you're not categorizing all that and all those different things, you don't know which of your channels are performing the best. And beyond that, you really, really need to get e-commerce conversion tracking set up correctly as well with Google Analytics. Because if you can see which of your channels, let's say it's organic, because we know that organic always performs really well, is getting you $30,000 a month, whereas your AdWords is only getting you $600 in sales a month, and you're spending $600 on that a month, maybe you should be looking at doing content marketing more, or something along those lines. You really need to know where the revenue is coming in with all your different channels so that you can say, all right, my money is best spent here or here or here or something like that.
Absolutely, because if you can identify which channel is working best for you, then you basically copy, paste, repeat.
That's right. And then if you know how much money you're getting from each channel, you can calculate ROI. How much did I spend this month on that channel? How much did I make? My ROI is 12%, something like that. Or actually, no, you'd want it to be higher than 100%. My ROI is 200%. So that's what you need to be able to find out. If you can find that out, then you have yourself a scalable e-commerce business.
And also, you've got other channels which are marketplaces like eBay. Of course, there are a lot of e-commerce merchants that are actually generating a truckload of their revenue via that channel, via that marketplace.
Well, leveraging a proven platform.
Absolutely. Yeah. We now have Amazon in Australia. There is Google Shopping, as we've mentioned. And let's not discount the likes of Gumtree even, and Facebook Marketplace. So there's plenty of people out there searching these almost what we would normally recognize as second-hand marketplaces, but they might come across something new that you have that's a bargain.
They're all worth testing, because you'll find in different industries there might be no point in being an eBay for a certain industry, but you might try Gumtree and realize none of my competitors are on here, and you got yourself like a little bit of free reign there. To expand on that. And once you find something like that, it's probably better just to focus on growing that channel, do one well, that sort of thing, instead of trying to do too many.
Gumtree's huge for local-based products. So products that most consumers wouldn't even consider having come via a package. It's normally delivered via truck, or it's something that I have to cart home myself. So for those bigger items, Gumtree is actually fantastic. They rank very well locally.
And something else that's great, if you find a platform where there's not an awful lot of saturation with your competitors, advertising on that channel is going to be a lot cheaper. If you have no competitors also putting ads there, your cost per click is going to be nothing. So if you find something like that, you can put yourself up the top with premium listings for like bottom dollar, basically. Another big thing that's very important when you're getting into e-commerce, a lot of people like to buy into an e-commerce business. So you have e-commerce businesses being sold. It's very, very cheap business to buy an e-commerce business, but you have to do due diligence behind that.
Yeah.
And we've spoken to some people recently that bought a business and it wasn't exactly what it seems. They didn't know what to look for.
Exactly. And so that's where an agency like Me Media would come in, for example, to do the due diligence on that e-commerce shopping cart and understand what channels are bringing in most of the sales, whether or not basically you might be buying a shopping cart which is generating 90%, 95% of its sales by spending truckloads of cash on Google advertising.
And if you don't know how to do any of that, then you might be in a bit of hot water trying to manage that.
Yep.
Because AdWords can change very quickly. With seasonal changes, all of a sudden you've got a lot of competitors on there, cost per click shoots up. You need to be aware of where to look for all that sort of thing. The thing about e-commerce businesses being sold, a lot of them will talk about the traffic that they get a month and their revenue and stuff like that, but that doesn't tell you an awful lot. You might be getting 30,000 visits to your website a month, and you might be getting X amount of dollars per month. That doesn't tell you where it's come from. It might all be coming from email marketing. You might be buying a business that's entirely based on EDM campaigns that you have to send out yourself. So you need to know where to look for all this stuff.
Absolutely.
As well as that, it's great to know a bit about the SEO of a website, where all the rankings are and that sort of thing, how it's been tracking over the last few years. You want to look at if it has a whole lot of errors that you may need to come in and fix up, that sort of thing.
Is it mobile friendly?
Is it mobile friendly? And there's tools out there that can help you with that. We were talking about one called SpyFu, which a lot of people use to check what their competitors are doing in the PPC and the AdWords space. So you set up an account, you put your competitor's website in there, and it can say how much they're spending on AdWords. But as well as that, it'll tell you all their SEO and an error sort of status and things like that, and page rank and all that. But you can do that on a website before you buy it. You don't have to just do that for a competitor. If you're going to buy xyz.com, you can put that into SpyFu and see quite a lot of detail about it, so you can sort of see how well it's been managed in the last X amount of years. And that gives you a great indication of if it was being run well.
Well, there's so much information right there. Maybe you want to go back and listen to that, so we won't run any further. But if you want to engage Me Media for any of those e-commerce marketing services or even due diligence on your website that you're about to purchase, then by all means, give us a call. We certainly don't want you to have to suffer because of basically not understanding the technology. Maybe you understand the brands and the products and the things and the industry, but potentially not the technical nature of behind the scenes stuff that obviously people like ourselves would. So by all means, reach out. We're here to help. Thanks very much, Andrew.
Thank you.